today's technology age, most people use a computer at some point during their workday. This presentation reviews musculoskeletal disorders, prevention techniques, and how to set up your workstation properly. Ergonomics is fitting the workstation to the worker. It's about fit, the fit between a person and what they do, the objects they use, and the environment in which they work. There are 3 types of ergonomics. Physical ergonomics is the most common type and typically addressed because of pain or discomfort. It's the body's response to physical workloads and the environment, like repetitive movements, vibration, force of exertion, and the body's posture. Cognitive ergonomics is the mental processes and capacities at work, like mental strain, the stress of decision-making, human error, and training. Organizational ergonomics refers to the structure of the organization and its policies and procedures. This includes scheduling, the motivation to work, the supervisor, teamwork, and working remotely. Ergonomic risk factors are the aspects of a job or task that place a worker at a higher risk for developing musculoskeletal disorders. Posture affects which muscle groups are active during physical activity. Awkward postures can make work tasks more physically demanding by increasing the exertion required from smaller muscle groups and preventing the stronger, larger muscle groups from working at maximum efficiency. Awkward postures typically include repeated or prolonged reaching, twisting, bending, working overhead, kneeling, squatting, and holding fixed positions or pinch grips. Awkward postures may be caused by poorly designed workstations, tools and equipment, or poor work practices. In repetitive work, the same types of motions are performed over and over again using the same muscles, tendons, or joints. The amount of repetition can be affected by the pace of work, the recovery time provided, and the amount of variety in work tasks. The risk of injury is greater when repetitive jobs involve awkward postures or forceful exertions. Force is the amount of muscular effort used to perform work. Exerting large amounts of force can result in fatigue and physical damage to the body. The amount of force exerted when moving or handling materials, tools, or objects depends on a combination of factors: the shape, weight, dimensions, and bulkiness of the load, grip type, position, and friction characteristics, the amount of effort required to start and stop the load when moving it, the length of time continuous force is applied by the muscles, the number of times the load is handled per hour or work shift, any amount of vibration, the body posture used to handle the load, and finally, the environmental temperature. Contact stress results from the body pressing against hard or sharp surfaces. This reduces circulation and obstructs nerve signals, leading to swelling, tingling, or discomfort. Certain areas of the body are more susceptible because nerves, tendons, and blood vessels are close to the skin and underlying bones. These areas include the sides of the fingers, palms, wrists and forearms, elbows, and the knees. Vibration is a concern when it is continuous or of very high intensity. Using vibrating tools such as sanders, grinders, impact guns, drills, and chainsaws can cause exposure to hand and arm vibration. Tools that are not properly maintained or are inappropriate for the task may increase the amount of vibration. These exposures may result in fatigue, pain, numbness, tingling, increased sensitivity to cold, and decreased sensitivity to touch in the fingers, hands, and arms. A musculoskeletal disorder is discomfort that accumulates over time in the muscles, ligaments, tendons, joints, or nerves, and can occur anywhere in the body. Musculoskeletal disorders are typically not caused by a single traumatic event, but due to microtrauma to tissues that does not heal during rest. Tendons are thick cords that join your muscles to your bones. When tendons become irritated or inflamed, the condition is called tendinitis. Tendinitis causes acute pain and tenderness, making it difficult to move the affected joint. Any tendon can develop tendinitis, but you're more likely to develop it in your shoulder, knee, elbow, heel, or wrist. Shoulder pain caused by connective tissue or tendons repeatedly rubbing on a shoulder blade causing inflammation is often called swimmer's shoulder. Tennis elbow, also known as lateral epicondylitis, is a type of tendinitis in which the outer part of the elbow becomes painful and tender. The pain may also extend into the back of the forearm, and grip strength may be weak. Golfer's elbow is a similar condition that affects the inside of the elbow. De Quervain's tenosynovitis is swelling of the thumb tendons caused by repetitive motion and painful when pressure is applied on the thumb side of the wrist. Another way of determining whether it is tenosynovitis is by performing a Finkelstein test. Bend your thumb across the palm of your hand and bend your fingers down over your thumb. Then you bend your wrist toward your little finger. If this causes pain on the thumb side of your wrist, you likely have De Quervain's tenosynovitis. Carpal tunnel syndrome is the compression of the median nerve as it passes into the hand. The median nerve is located on the palm side of your hand and provides sensation or the ability to feel your thumb, index finger, long finger, and part of the ring finger. Swelling inside your wrist causes compression in the carpal tunnel. It can lead to numbness, weakness, and tingling on the side of your hand near your thumb. Many people don't realize how significantly the design and arrangement of our workstation impacts our health. Improper ergonomics can cause neck and back pain, shoulder fatigue, musculoskeletal disorders, and eye strain. The good news is that these can be prevented with a few simple adjustments to your workstation. When evaluating your workstation, the first point of focus is the chair. Seating directly affects your back, shoulders, hips, and upper legs. Turn away from your desk and adjust the seat height so that your feet are flat and thighs are parallel to the floor. Without ideal foot support, your body will adjust itself, and this may lead to lower back discomfort. Adjust the seat pan so that you have a 2 to 3 finger distance between the edge of the chair and the back of your leg. Raise or lower the lumbar support so that it correctly fits in the natural curve of your back. Some chairs allow you to adjust the amount of lumbar support within the backrest as well. Adjust the backrest tilt to your comfort, with the upper body slightly reclined. Extending forward to reach the keyboard causes muscle strain between the shoulder blades and neck, especially when this posture is sustained over time. Sitting straight in a neutral position distributes your weight evenly. Adjust the armrests so that they are at the same level as your elbow. Armrests should not prevent the chair from being drawn close to the desk. Shoulders should be relaxed without any pressure on the forearm or elbow, as this causes additional injuries. Like the chair, the work surface should fit you. Once you have adjusted the chair, you can determine the appropriate height for your work surface. Now turn towards your workstation. The top of the work surface should be just below the elbow. If the work surface cannot be lowered to the appropriate height, you can raise your chair and use a footrest for support, or use a keyboard tray to bring the mouse and keyboard to elbow height. The keyboard and mouse should be at the same level as your wrists, and your elbows should be approximately 90 to 93 degrees. Elbows should be close to your sides, with the keyboard directly in front of you. The mouse should be next to the keyboard to avoid reaching. With your hands on the keyboard, your wrists should be flat. Remove the feet on the keyboard so that your wrists are not bent while typing, which puts pressure on the carpal tunnel. Muscle tension in the forearms increase when the fingers are bent in a claw position. A wrist rest can be used to elevate the palms to the same level as the keyboard. Contrary to the name, a wrist rest should support your palms rather than your wrists, as this puts pressure on the carpal tunnel. Be sure the wrist rest is pushed up against the keyboard under the palms. Wrists should be straight. Imagine a line from your elbow all the way down to your middle finger. If your wrists are bent while typing, an ergonomic keyboard can be used to prevent awkward bending of the wrists. There should be no pressure on the wrists, including watches, hair ties, or rubber bands. Now look at the monitor. The top of the monitor should be at eye level, allowing the eyes to have a downward gaze. Monitors too high or too low cause strain in the neck. Users with glasses may prefer a different height depending on their prescription lenses. When combining a monitor and a laptop, the laptop should be used as the secondary monitor and raised to the approximate height of the freestanding monitor. Use a keyboard and mouse rather than the laptop. Monitors should be placed directly in front of you, approximately an arm's distance away. Dual monitors should be placed with 60 to 70% of the primary monitor in front of you. Avoid placing monitors in front of windows. This causes your pupils to constrict, making your eyes work harder to see the monitor. Laptops allow flexibility when working. However, the same principles apply as with desktop workstations. Connect a keyboard and mouse to the laptop, essentially turning the laptop into a computer workstation. Use a laptop stand to elevate the monitor. This will help alleviate any flexion in the neck and create a more neutral position. Take breaks more frequently, as awkward postures are common with laptop use. Sit-stand workstations allow for more changes in posture throughout the day, increasing circulation and productivity. The same ergonomic principles of seated workstations apply to sit-stand workstations. The keyboard and mouse should be at elbow height. The monitor should be directly in front, at least an arm's distance away, with the top at eye level. Incorporate small movements as much as possible, like going up and down on your toes, shoulder rolls, or standing with one foot resting on a platform. Wear the right shoes, and consider using an anti-fatigue mat to absorb some of the pressure. Not everything that is labeled ergonomically designed is ergonomically correct. Ergonomics is the application of scientific information to the design of objects, systems, and the environment. Ergonomic tools simply adjust to the user. There are many alternative keyboards on the market. The purpose of an ergonomic keyboard is to eliminate awkward bending of the wrists, primarily on the right by angling the hands toward the user's shoulders. Not everyone needs an ergonomic keyboard. Other alternatives include keyboards with a separate number pad, allowing the mouse to sit closer to the user on the right. There are even more alternative mice on the market than there are alternative keyboards. Buyers beware. Manufacturers have a monetary interest in telling you how bad your current mouse is. A low-profile mouse that keeps your fingers straight and the palm flat is typically the best choice. Mice with roller balls can provide relief for the scrolling finger, but can create additional issues with the tendons in the thumb. A vertical mouse helps carpal tunnel syndrome because it relieves pressure on the wrist when used properly. When using a mouse, hold it loosely rather than gripping it firmly. Do not rest your wrist or forearms on the mousing surface. Try to use your whole arm and shoulder to move the mouse. This allows the larger, stronger muscles to do the heavy lifting. Moving the mouse from side to side with your wrist causes inflammation in the carpal tunnel. Without proper support, your feet impact your back, legs, circulation, and other areas of the body. A footrest should be used when the workstation is too high and cannot be lowered to the proper seated position. They can also be used at standing desks to promote movement and changing positions. A footrest should be adjustable and support the whole foot. Phone headsets are recommended for people who are on the phone often and for extended periods of time. This causes people to cradle the phone with an awkward neck position. Using a headset allows the person to not only talk without balancing the phone, but also write or type while talking. Document holders are beneficial for those who refer to documents while typing to alleviate neck strain. There are many options for the type of work and documents being used. Some are mobile and can be placed to the side of the keyboard within your line of sight or wherever is most comfortable. Others are fixed and allow the document to be placed at an angle above the keyboard in line with the monitor. Be aware of the signs and symptoms of musculoskeletal disorders: tingling or numbness in the hands or fingers, pain in the fingers, hands, wrists, or even shooting up into the arms or forearms, loss of strength or coordination in the hands, or numbness or discomfort in the hands that wakes you up at night. If you are experiencing discomfort, contact your supervisor immediately.